So before I start this video, I just want to do an update. And because the original video itself was recorded on May the 5th, that's basically before Idea Factory International actually did a stream of Neptunia Shooter on May the 9th. So why am I doing this disclaimer? Basically, I just want to announce the price of the game. So first of all, yes, it's still going to come out on May 21st. That's already been announced. Exclusive on Steam as of right now. But the question on the main video was that how much will it be? Will they ever stream this game? Well, they can answer that question. One, they did stream the game. And two, they did announce the price for the game. And that is Neptunia Shooter. It will be $5. Yeah, so it's not that much. As I was surprised, I was gonna guess it was $8 to $10, but nah, it's actually just $5. So basically, it has online leaderboard. Not really a lot of content in it, but again, you know, hey, if you like Neptunia games like I do, you like the series, the franchise, you're probably gonna buy this on Steam for $5. So yeah, like I would. And probably give my thoughts about it in the long run. So, yeah. So once again, a little bit update is that they did stream the game. Links in the description box. But also, they finally announced the price, which is going to be $5. So, if you're a Neptunia fan, you have a good computer, you want to play it on, you know, you can run Steam. There you go. So, yeah, we'll see how the game is good or not. I think it will be. It'll be good. Hello guys, it's NautoAis. So this is going to be part 2 on Neptunia games. Well, surprisingly, most of them are going to be released this June. So that's a surprise. So like I said before, June somehow is going to be Idea Factory International Day, because you got 3 games that are going to be released on June, and that is Super Neptunia RPG, Data Live Reincarnation, that also comes with the previous 2 games, and Dragon Star Varnir. So with that said, the reason of this follow-up is that they actually announced more games that they're gonna actually localize, or it's gonna come out. One is this year, and the other one's gonna be surprisingly, well, it's not really surprisingly, but it depends on your perspective. That might come out. That's gonna come out next year. That's what I meant. So first of all, there was an April's Fool from Idea Factory International called the Neptunia Shooter, and basically they're trying to promote this on April's Fool. And it's basically a 8-bit game, but it's a side-scrolling shooter like Radius. And you play one of the goddesses, and you know, pew 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 pew. So it's a shooter. So people thought, oh, April's Fool fun, that'd be awesome. It was a real game, that would be awesome. And then all suddenly, and I kind of mentioned this before in other videos on Idea Factory topics, is that, yeah, it is real. It's going to come out on Steam. As of right now, it's a Steam game. So basically, yes, the April Fool game, Neptunia Shooter, that's supposed to be an April Fool, now it's actually a real game. And it's interesting because it looks, well, it's a Neptunia game, you know, you can't take the franchise seriously, that's the whole point. It looks interesting, so, you know, now there's a shooter genre in the Neptunia world. It looks interesting. And they finally had a date, and that will be May the 21st. And that's going to be on Steam as of right now. No other console. Interesting, yeah, it's going to be on Steam on May 21st. Pew, 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 pew. You kind of get the idea there. So yeah, that's gonna come out on May 21st. Now, big surprise, it depends. And that is, if you've been following Idea Factory in Japan, they actually announced this in 2018 called AzurLane Crosswave. So if you don't know what AzurLane is, it's a mobile gacha game. It's so kind of familiar with Kantai Collection, which is another type of ship girls, but their own version. And they finally came out like a year later from the Japanese came out the mobile game in 2017, and in the late 2018, it finally came out outside of Japan. I've been playing it. I put money in because of the Neptunia characters. I know, shame on me. A free-to-play gacha game, I'm putting money. And yet, in the case with Fire Emblem and Lost Regalia, I never put any cent, and I'm still having fun of the game. I know, shame on me. Shame on me on that one. Anyway, in 2018, Idea Factory in Japan, Compal Heart, the developers going to be Felistia, which is the people behind Sega Heart Girl vs. Neptunia and the Rebirth series. They're gonna do, they call this AzurLane Crosswave, which is sort of an action, third person. I guess I'm gonna say virtual art. Let's go with that. That's what it looks like, because you're basically third person view. You play one of the ship girls, and it looks like virtual art. Anyway, in Japan, in 2019, they basically announced that it's going to come out this August, and then there have been a lot of trailers. Well, there have been 1 or 2 trailers about it that explain how to play the game. So now, 2019 August in Japan. So there are a lot of people are asking, well, was it going to come out in America? And the chance to come out of Japan. And there was even one point I was watching a stream. This is the time when they were still showcasing Dead End Request for the PS4. One of the fans basically asked any news about AzurLane Crosswave to be coming out outside of Japan. And at that time, that was, I think, was January. Somebody from Idea Factory just said, well, we have no plan, we have no update, no word about it. So I'll explain that later in the end. So right now, no one really knows what's going on. Is it going to come out or not? Until May the 2nd, and that is Idea Factory International surprisingly announced that in 2020, so that's a keyword, next year, 2020, yes, they're going to localize AzurLane Crosswave. So you're like, oh, boogers buck. Why is it 2020? In Japan, it's August of 2019. And I said it before, and I said it again. Not all company can do a worldwide release. Some of them are small. Atlas can't do it. Persona 5 or the Royal is going to come out in Japan October the 31st of 2019. In Japan, or in outside. When I keep saying that, do apologize. Outside of Japan, 2020. It just makes sense because again, you do need time to localize it. Can you localize and develop the game at the same time? It is a possibility, but that's also challenging. Pokemon Company or Game Freak to some extent even had a hard time, but they actually made it work with Pokemon XY, because in the past there was some complaints about that, and I think Junichi basically said no chance in heck because it's not that easy. Remember, even Nintendo in the way past, they couldn't even do worldwide release. Now they could. A lot of bigger companies could. Konami could do it, Square Enix, to some extent if they want to. Nintendo, Capcom, yeah. So, but in the case like with Atlas, Falcom, NIS America, Idea Factory International, no chance in heck as of right now. Not that big. Look at Trails of Cold Steel 3. Right now, finally, in 2019, it's coming out in America. That game was been out like 2017, so you kind of see the problem there to some extent. But again, you know, it's not that easy. It is what it is. Niche games sometimes are hard. So there's the same case with AzurLane Crosswave. So some might say, oh, boogers, I want to play it in 2019. Kind of feel for you. At the same time, they need time to localize it. Because another question about it, fine, they're finally going to localize it. There is voices, okay? In the mobile game, there is voices. However, it's only in Japanese. So never had an English dub. Bum me out, but again, it is what it is. I can't really complain when it comes to a free-to-play gacha game because it's free. I can't complain. The only time I will be complaining if you have to pay $50 to $60. Well, okay, you know what? I take it back. If I have to pay $60 and you don't put English dub, then it's a screw you. If you make the game $50 or below, I'm probably gonna complain less. And it's a gacha game that's free-to-play, then I have no place to complain because it's a free game. I'm not paying anything. Unless if I need more boost or whatever. Gacha game free to play, I can't complain about it because it's free. I mean, props to Nintendo to actually add the English dub, but that's a different story there. So the question basically now in Crosswave, how much is it going to be? Is it going to be a $50 game or $60 game? Second, are they going to finally put English dub on AzurLane? There's also an anime. Again, that's only in Japan right now. Who's going to localize the anime outside of Japan? Funimation, we've been following Funimation. Right now they're in a third war. They're being a third right now. Let's just say that. Since if it works, yeah, they could do it. Aniplex. I mean, hey, you know, Promised Neverland finally had an English dub. I can see why a lot of people like that anime. Whatever. But the bottom line is, will it have English dub? Who knows? We just have to wait and see because it's 2020. It probably not going to be February 2020. It could be spring of 2020. So it could be a year from now. So again, you know, we're going to have to wait for it. So, but it is going to come out. That's the bottom line. So that is a surprise there to some extent. So in recap, Neptunia Shooter is a real April's Fool, kind of like Fighting Layer EX. It's going to come out May 21st on Steam. In the case with AzurLane, again, 2020, that's all they just said. Yeah, it's too early because they already have a lot of games that are going to come out. Like I said, in June, Super Neptunia, Dragons Are Far Near, Dead Alive Reincarnation. And of course, there's another game that's not yet being announced when it's the release, and that's supposed to be summer. It could be probably going to be pushed to be fall, and that is Ark of the Alchemist. And now it's also going to have English dub. But again, the bottom line again is, when is that going to be released? They're not talking about it. So